Two Sheds Gabby, I am back for another penny roll. One of the banks that I frequently go to return coins, each one of the branches on a different Friday is having a food truck, food van, whatever you call it, come by and giving free lunches to the members. And it's really good Mexican food. I've mentioned it in a couple of other videos. We went today and got some more great Mexican food. And while I was there, I couldn't resist. I got a box of pennies and a box of nickels. I opened up the nickels and they were all new. 2022p, unfortunately. 2024p, I'd have been jumping up and down, or D especially. But a couple of the rolls had enders that weren't brand new. And I thought, well, maybe a few rolls got tossed in there. So I opened them and they were all 2022s except for like one or two. It's like, okay, they just happened to get enders. So I opened a couple of rolls that had 2022s on both ends, and that's basically what it was. Each one of them had like one or two that wasn't 2022Ps. I don't know why or how that happens, but that's what I've got. A whole box full of 2022Ps, and each roll has one or two odd birds in it. But I opened up the pennies, and I've got me a nice hunt. I've even got another wheat penny ender. I love finding those. It's just fun for some reason. It doesn't mean a whole lot. I mean, it's the same amount of wheat pennies per box, I guess, but it's just fun seeing that. I know I'm not skunked, for one thing. If I didn't want to open them up so I got so bad, it'd be fun to keep a few of these ender rolls. I don't know. I may do that someday. Maybe that'll be one of the things I do next year. This year, we're looking for 260 pounds of copper. The reason I chose 260, if you don't already know, is because I already had 240 pounds before this year, and I want to have 500 pounds of copper pennies hoarded away. I don't know what I'll do in 2025, but this is what I'm doing this year, and I'm on a pretty good run to get it done. Let's open another box. Well, let's go through this box. Hopefully I'll get 3 more pounds of copper. Hopefully I'll get another dozen wheat pennies. Let's get this one open, see what we got, and we'll keep going. I don't know if this little setup I have is going to work, but I'm going to give it a try. Here it is. I've opened up the roll, and here's the wheat penny. Let's check and see what year we've got. 1952D, starting out. Cool. Copper, copper, copper. Well, that's nice. It's not working quite as well as I thought it would. There's an 82. So anyway, there's another 82. While we were at the bank, got in line, I guess you'd say, to place our order. And the lady there that took my order in the van recognized me because it was the third time she has seen me. And we made our order. And then we went and stood. It was rainy, so they had the van pull up right next to the bank out front. And so there was a couple of tables sitting right in front of the doors practically to the bank. And they had, like cookies and stuff set up at one, and a couple of people eating at one. There's copper. And so we were just like standing in the gravel right in front of the bank, just out of the rain while we was waiting for our order to be made. we looked down and noticed in the gravel there was bones, little bones. And I just noticed one or two, and my wife and I said something about it, and she goes, "Have you noticed how many there are?" And I'm like, "What?" And so I took a closer look, and the whole gravel section was just riddled with bone. I'm guessing hundreds of bones. I said, "What did they order the gravel / bone choice when they went to order. We just laughed about it, like, how in the world did all these bones get here? And one of the guys that work at the bank, he actually works most of the time at a different branch, but he knows me well. He's from Britain. He's got a pretty cool accent. But he comes up and we're just chatting because he knows that I'm a coin guy, and he actually he collects a little bit of coins too. So I know not to ask him if he's got loose $50 because he's already gone through them if he has. There's another wheat penny. Cool beans. Another copper. Pretty good. 1945. How about that? Pretty neat. And I said, have you noticed all the bones? And he goes, let me tell you about that. He said, there are like a half a dozen crows. He said they roost right up ahead of above, over your head. And he said they bring in these chicken bones, he thinks. He says there's a couple of places, like next door, there's a gas station that sells like fried chicken, and then on the other side there's a restaurant that sells chicken, and there's a 2009. Well, that's pretty nice. We'll keep that one. And he said they grab them up and bring them over there and just literally pick them dry. I mean, these were picked dry bones. It's just hundreds of them. It was unreal. I wish if I go back over there, I'll try to remember to get a picture. It was crazy. So at the beginning of that last clip, this is the reason I said I'm not sure if this is going to work. I bought this stand. You can set the phone on it, and that way you're stationary, which is pretty cool. But it's got the rubber feet and it won't slide at all. And I'm wanting it to slide up as I'm going through the roll instead of constantly pulling the roll into the screen. And so I took a Hot Wheel that's designed to have a GoPro on top of it, and I just taped it on the bottom, but it's really unstable, so I had to hold it the whole time. But this way, I was rolling it up as I was going through the roll of pennies. It worked pretty good, other than the fact that if I had let go or anything, it's pretty unstable. But I was pretty happy with the way it worked. Besides the 2 wheat pennies and the 2009, that roll had 13 copper pennies in it. I hope I get a lot more rolls like that. Third roll, and here is a nice older copper Canadian coin, 1972, with the nice maple leaf on the back, and a young Elizabeth on the front. Pretty early in the fourth roll, and here's wheat penny number 3, a 1951D, I believe that's it. Yep. Pretty cool. I'd like to keep this up. I have a confession to make. I almost hate saying this. When I go through these coins, pennies, and nickels, and even $50, I've got a place for everything. Obviously the copper pennies go into the boxes for the copper hoard, and all of those make it there. But the wheat pennies, the Canadian pennies, the 2009s, and other, like if I've got a really nice one I keep, or an S penny that I keep, or the older nickels that I keep, they all need to get put in their tubes or rolls and get put in their specific places that I keep. Everything has its place. Well, sometimes I'll go through several boxes before I get to that. And let me show you what a mess I've got. I know this is terrible. That is like 3 or 4 boxes of pennies, the wheats, the Canadians, and all the other things, and old nickels over there, and so a couple of foreign coins, and there's a couple of NIFC $50, and I think there's 2 or 3 proofs in there. I just haven't gotten them all separated out yet, and I know that's awful, but I'll get to it real soon. Probably after I do this box of pennies, I better get that done. It's starting to pile up on me. There's my little confession. I have another song by the same Nuthatch band that's playing today. And I don't know if all the songs are going to be the same theme, because this band, Nuthatch, there's a handful of the guys that make up the band, but they have musician friends that come in, like the flute or mandolin or different instruments. And so they'll come in and they'll put together a whole different genre of music to go with whatever they have accompanying them. And it makes for some pretty great sounds, I think. So I don't know if all the songs that my son gave me, they have their own studio, and my son is an engineer there. His father-in-law hired some guy to come in and train my son. He had never had experience before, and he's been trained now. And obviously, it's still a learning curve, but he does a pretty good job. This is the 12th row, and here is another Canadian copper 1968. So I was thinking in the first 10 rolls, I got 3 wheat pennies, and it would be cool to get 3 wheat pennies every 10 rolls, because then I would have 15. But it never works like that, does it? Unfortunately. Copper. 82. So I thought of a pretty kind of funny story. Several years back, I moved to a town that a friend of mine had already lived in. It was kind of a small town. And he was telling me about these 3 brothers that he had made friends with. And, we was talking about introducing them to me. And he said, but they're not getting along real well with their dad for whatever reason. And he said he met their dad, and said he was a pretty odd bird. He said the funny thing is, 82, he said he looks like Fred Flintstone. He goes, you'll know when you see him. I'm like, okay, I'll take your word for it. Anyway, I don't even think I'd gotten moved up there yet. I was up there looking for a place. Well, that's a nice one. We'll weigh that. I think it's zinc, but we'll see. Yeah, it's zinc. So I was up there looking for a place to move to. Let's weigh that one too. It's zinc. And I went into the Kroger one day, and I'm walking past the aisles looking for an aisle that, I don't know what I was looking for, but I was walking down and looking at the aisles to see if the aisle had whatever it was I was looking for. And I looked down halfway down one of the aisles, and there was Fred Flintstone standing. Yeah, I mean, it looked like Fred Flintstone. It's like, I know who that is. That's my friend's dad, the 3 brothers' dad. Oh, that was so funny. I had to call him up immediately and said, I saw Fred Flintstone. We got a good laugh out of that. What's with all the 82s? Fred Flintstone. And on a sad note, he just passed away about a month ago, Mr. Flintstone. Another, after I got moved up there, he had just weird ideas. I won't say a whole lot more than that. He had some bizarre ideas and kind of lost contact with reality, if you ask me. But me and him always got along. I ended up moving right down the street from him. And me and him always got along. There was one time that he said something to me kind of to do with his religion. And I made a comment back, and he got real mad and stormed out. But other than that, um, we always did get along. And he even said he appreciated me one time because I would talk with him, whereas other people wouldn't. Here is the 14th roll and a third copper Canadian, 1964. Nice. No wheat penny yet in this second set of 10. Well, if y'all have been noticing, silver is up and copper is up. Silver jumped $3 the last couple days. It was at 27 and it's over 30 now. And just a few days ago, when I made a copper hoarding video, copper pennies were valued at 2.7 cents each. And today they're at 2.74 cents each. So it is moving up a bit. I've had a whole bunch of rows that didn't meet the 9 copper that I need. So, you know, the last box I did, I think the whole way through, it's like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I got it in this box. But I can't say that yet in this one. Even though several times I have said that I did have it. I'm just not as sure. Copper. Here we go. This is the 17th roll. And here is Wheatie number 4. 1957D. Wheatie number 4. So, you know, we bought this house here a few months ago. And we're trying to start making some changes. Change the utility room around to make it functional for our stuff. And the bathroom is pretty small. And there's one. But we're making a few changes. A little bit bigger toilet. The one that was here is just tiny and low to the ground. I'll tell you more of the next row. Next row. We're trying to make some changes in the bathroom. The sink is a little bitty, you know, cabinet, the little sink. And we're trying to get as big as we can, but the room is little, so we only have so much room because you got the sink, then the toilet, then the tub. Oh, is that a Wheatie? Yeah. 53. Cool. That's Wheatie number 5 there. Oh, look at that. Right behind it. Wheatie number 6. How cool is that? Well, there's the 3 for this 10. How about that? 1946D. All right. Well, that's really neat. Pretty cool. So we've bought kitchen cabinets for a few different houses from this small company. They have scratch and dents and end of runs and that sort of. So you get them discounted. They're nice cabinets, but they're discounted. And we've bought from them. We get into where we know the ladies that run it pretty well. And we went up there a while back when we bought a little cabinet to go in the kitchen because the stove we took out was way bigger than the one we got. So we put a little skinny cabinet in its place to make up for the space. So while we were there, we bought a bathroom sink top and cabinet. And we got it home, and it was the sink top was in the den, and the cabinet was still in the back of our GMC. And we were talking about something. I said, and we're like, does that one even fit? Because I forget what brought us to it, but I went and measured, and you've only got like 19 inches deep. My grandfather built the house, and he just made the room small, too small. And so we called up the lady and said, if you don't mind, we're going to bring these back because it's too deep. It was like 21 and a half inches deep, and you can't even close the bathroom door. What's going on there? Well, that's weird looking. I don't guess it's anything, but I may look closer at it. Huh. Anyway, so we're taking it back tomorrow, and I don't think she has what we need at her place, so we'll probably stop in a few places and try to find another. You can find the cabinets. We can go like 31 inches wide on the cabinet, but we want a cabinet with a door and two little drawers, and those are not that easy to find. 20th row, and here is wheat penny number 7. That's pretty nice. That a D? Yep, 1946 D. Looks like he's got a gash in front of his forehead there. Wheat penny number 7. Very cool. If it keeps this up, we'll do pretty good on the wheat penny end. Couple of 83s that looked pretty coppery, but they weren't. This is the 23rd row and a copper Canadian. This one is a 12-sided. Not quite as nice looking on the front. Oh, back's got a little stuff on it too, but it's okay. The last several rolls have not been good in the copper department. 82. The wheat pennies are coming along pretty good though. Here's number 8, and we have one more roll before we get to the second half. Ooh, 1939. Philadelphia. Cool. That's neat. '73S. I believe I have several of those put aside. I might want to put it aside for a second. Oh, did I show you this? You know, I ordered some of these coin books from eBay a while back, and they never sent them. So I canceled the order, and I'm glad I did, because I found a coin store, a coin shop, and they've got tons of them, and they give them to me for way cheaper. I was so glad that I canceled that other order. So I got doubles and triples of these penny ones. I'm going to go through my rolls here one of these days soon and start filling up a bunch of these books. That's going to be fun. Then I'll make a list of the ones I need to start searching for. That's going to be pretty cool. Hey folks, I took a break for about an hour. Me and my wife ate, watched a little TV. I'm in roll 26. This is one I would normally just keep in a heartbeat without even thinking about it. But there's this gash along here that's really gonna, you know, if I was to send that in someday, that would definitely take away from the grading. But that sure is a nice one. I may be compelled to keep it, I don't know. A little bit of wear along this rim. Boy, it sure is a good looking coin. I don't know. I'll think about it. I just completed roll 30, and I'm only at 8 wheat pennies. So that means I'm now a wheat penny behind if I'm going to get 3 for every 10 rolls. 33rd roll. Here is wheat penny number 9. I may not get a wheat for every 10 rolls, which would be 15. But hey, I got a good shot at getting my 10. 19. What year did I say? 1936D. So I hope I get my 10, and it'd be great. Let's weigh it. It's so zinc. Yeah. Well, here it is, folks. In roll number 35, wheat penny number 10. I've made it, and there's still 15 rolls to go to find a few more. This one's a Philadelphia, not in the best of shape. Well, I have some news that is a little interesting, unsettling, however you want to put it. But article I'm reading. At the current world production of copper and the current need, the growth in the industry of in need for copper and more use, by 19 not 19 by the year 2030, it's estimated that the world production of copper will only meet 80% of the world demand. What does that mean? Oh my goodness. That means a massive shortage. It means massive price increase. And that means that only the top money making industries will be able to afford to buy it. There's a Canadian. 1972. Cool. And that means that the industries that are left behind, those prices of goods and services will spike because of a shortage. It's not a pretty scene unless they can find a way to make more, to produce more, or find a way to need less. Well, this is nice. The next roll, roll 36. And here is wheat penny number 11. Cool, 1955. Check this out, folks. On that last 5, there's some doubling, maybe even tripling going on. So I am going to save this penny for sure. Nice one. Keep them coming. I tell you, that sure does make you want to hold on to more copper when you hear stories like that. Look at this. This is the 40th row. Wheat penny number 12, 99 years old. 1925. Well, that's cool. Philadelphia. Yeah, man. That's fun. Some nice Wheaties in this box for sure. Going back to the last topic of the shortages. Is that a D? Yeah. Can you imagine the importance of the recycling? I mean, it seems to me like it should already be an emphasis on, getting the copper that's not being used. Lots of electronics are just discarded because it's just not worth the while for people to get all the, the metals that you get out of it at today's prices isn't deemed worth it, but it will be. It will be. Old buildings that are standing that nobody's using, that it's not worth demolition. It will become worth demolition, or at the very least, having people go into these buildings to rip out the copper because the demand will get so high. When the supply is only 80% of demand, you better believe the recycling is going to become super important. Look at this. Wheat penny number 13, 53D. That's pretty cool. Several rolls to go. Maybe I'll get that 15 after all. That would be fun. So what will you do with your copper when it gets to that point? It's going to be worth a pretty penny, I imagine. Oh, yeah. I'll only trade mine in and trade for world peace. 82. Miss my bowl. Reminds me of Eddie Murray. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Here's my sixth Canadian copper. This one is 12-sided, 1984. It's the second 12-sided one I found. Dialga. Dialga. Do you remember the movie with Eddie Murray, Groundhog Day? When he was trying to seduce Andy McDowell by spending every day with her and learning everything about her. And so each day he learned a little bit more, a little bit more. And he was at a bar with her ordering a drink, and he ordered some silly drink that she likes. And he stops and goes, "I like to say a little prayer for world peace." And she's like, "Oh." That was one funny movie. I love that movie. Wheat penny number 14. I still got 5 rolls to go. Maybe I'll get it. 1954D, Wheatie. All right, 14. Oh, look at that. There's a Canadian right there. Number 7. Nice. Nice. I tell you, even if I don't quite get my 3 pounds, it's a pretty good box. 82. I got a ton of 82s to go through. But the last several rolls was better. That group that I went through earlier, man, there's a lot of rolls I didn't get the average I needed. But it seems like the last several rolls have definitely been better. So, I think there's a decent shot of it averaging out and getting the old 3 pounds after all. And that tonight, this was going to fill another box for me to seal up. One more step closer to my 260 pounds for the year. Very next row. Ta-da! Wheatie number 15. Man, I still got 4 rows to go. 1944D. Golly, that's fantastic. 82, golly. 15 Wheaties, or is it 6 or 7 of the Canadian? And hopefully 3 pounds of copper. That's a good box if ever was. I'm not saying there ain't some better out there, but I love getting this consistently, I tell you. One roll to go after this, but here is Wheatie number 16. How cool. 1930, what is that? S. Oh, that's nice. I've got to check my paper over here. 1 second, folks. Aha, I need that. That's cool. Nice. Wow. All right. Man, when I think about the recycling and the wasted copper, can you imagine? All the hair curlers and all the gadgets that are thrown away every single day and taken to landfills and whatnot. there's got to be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of tons of copper just sitting out there not being used. You know, that will have to come into play if it reaches the shortage level like they're saying it may. I had 126 grams of copper 1982s. You know, one of these days, there's going to be more of the zinc 82s than the copper ones because we keep pulling all the copper ones out and putting the zinc ones back into circulation. Anyway, let me get over here and weigh these. I think I've got 3 pounds. Are you ready? Here we go. Yeah, 3.29 grams, something like that. I mean, 3 pounds, 0.29. Over 3 pounds. I thought it was there. That's cool. Let me get the next box sealed up, and I'll show you where I'm at. Here's the newest edition. I've got 195 pounds now sealed away for 2024. On my way to 260. I'm just going to keep trying to get 2 boxes a week until I'm there. Somewhere along the way, I'm going to start trying to fill up those coin books I just bought. So that could slow it down ever so slightly. I've got a lot of the S pennies already put away, so that'll be cool. But it will also be fun filling up my new books. I guess that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching. Save that copper. We'll talk to you later. Bye.